Jan.
I'm Tracy.
And we are in Venice, Italy.
Our journey really begins with our arrival at the Marco Polo Airport in Venice.
Marco Polo Airport is largely like any other international airport. But some of the transportation options are a little different. This is our ride to our hotel. And we finally make it to our hotel.
The Hotel Rialto. Our suite is well appointed.
But the reason you booked this room is for the view.
All right, so we are at the Hotel Rialto right here in Venice, literally right by the Rialto Bridge, right on the Grand Canal. What a fantastic place. Really, the traveling here was pretty easy. We flew in to Venice. Venice is kind of a neat little airport, which is really cool. And it's the first time that I've seen a port at an airport. So we actually had a private water taxi that took us here. Just a beautiful way to come into the city.
But if you decide not to take a private water taxi, we are also right next to the Valparetto station, which is a water taxi station. So when we were in the airport at the baggage claim, you could actually find water taxi tickets right there. And then there's a water taxi stop not even 100 yards from our front door of our hotel.
Yeah, but I tell you what, and I think we're going to take the regular water taxi when we go to the train because we are going on a cruise. We're going to be going on a Regent Splendid cruise going out of Trieste. We'll talk about that more later. We'll probably go on that, but I'll tell you, as a way to come into the city, I'll tell you, the extra money to basically have your own boat, I mean, it was really kind of nice. All right, so we are fighting jet lag, so what we know is we have to get out of the room. So we're going to go walk around Venice and maybe get some espresso and a bite to eat. Hey, welcome to St. Marco's Square or St. Mark's Square. I'll tell you, every time I come to Venice, this is just one of my favorite places. First of all, you have St. Mark's Basilica is right back behind. It dates back all the way back to like 1094. Just really, really neat. Off to the left here, you have the bell tower that goes back to 1499. Or sorry, the clock tower that goes back to 1499. And then what you have is you have the St. Mark's Campanile, built right around the 1100s. It actually collapsed in 1902, was rebuilt in 1912. It is like 323 feet, which is really, really cool. So we're just right outside the Grand Canal, just as you go into St. Mark's Square. What you have is you have two statues. One, you have what is known as the Lion of Venice, and then you have San Theodore. These are the patron saints of Venice. Let's talk about St. Mark for a second. The reason why this is St. Mark's is because it is said that around 1040 or so, just as we're getting into the 11th century, the actual remains of St. Mark was actually brought to and is buried here in St. Mark's Basilica. And this is the reason why the Doge at that time had the lion actually established. It is the symbol of Venice.
We'll see this bridge again tomorrow, but this is the bridge's size. It's so named because from its marble lattice windows was the last view of Venice that convicts would see as they were taken to the prison cells.
We're just off of St. Mark's Square. We're back behind, it's kind of a little alley went down. We came to what is known as San Zaccaria church. Unfortunately, you cannot take pictures in there. Very cool. This is where the remains of Saint Zaccaria, who was believed to be the father of John the Baptist, his remains are in there. You can see, kind of neat little place. And that's one of the great things about all these many different places in Italy. There's just so many just very cool, small little things to be able to find. So we've been out of the hotel long enough. I mean, it's after sunset, so we think we're pretty well, kind of with the jet lag. So what we're going to do is we're going to head back to the hotel and get some sleep. Hopefully, the plan is to get up at sunrise and go see. We already have tickets to go to the Doge Palace. Hopefully, go into St. Mark's, a couple other things before the following day. We get onto a train and we go to Trieste to be able to get onto the Regent Splendor, okay? But I'll tell you what, we'll see you tomorrow morning. So good morning. Yeah, we got up right before sunrise. Sunrise has just started to peak over here. Really nice to come down here. This is one of the things we love doing, is getting up early in the morning. We've been to Venice several times. It's the most crowded it's been. We think it's because of All Saints Day. Today is actually Halloween. Yeah, it's just nice to be able to walk through the areas, and it was just, peaceful and quiet, and the lights just showing some beautiful lights. So yeah, it's beautiful. Like I said before, when you have so few people down here, it's quiet, it's tranquil, and you can really start to reflect upon what you're seeing. The thing about it, even right here we have St. Mark's Basilica, built some 1,200 years ago, which is just amazing, just the amount of history that Venice has. And it's just a spectacular time. It's just great to be here with my favorite person. All right, so Venice is actually an area, it's a collection of 118 different islands, which means that it has 117 or something like that canals, which means there's a lot of bridges. In fact, there is about just over 400 bridges. The most important bridge is what is behind me, is the Rialto Bridge, which is right by our hotel. The Rialto Bridge, actually, the first bridge that actually spanned this place was known as the Ponte de Moneta, or the Bridge of Money, because on the eastern side there was a mint. It was built, but it was actually a pontoon bridge. But what it really did, it was important, was it was one of the first major bridges. It actually connected different areas, so you had lots of commerce. Of course, a pontoon bridge was not going to be sturdy enough to cover that. So what they did is in
1255, they built a wooden bridge. The problem with wooden bridges, especially when you have so much water, is you have to maintain it, and it started to collapse many different times. So by 1503, they started looking at how could we build a stone bridge. And lots of different architects, to include Michelangelo, was actually consulted and thought about for this, but it would come to Antonio del Ponte that actually was the architect that starting in 1588 and completing in 1591 completed the bridge, which is the Rialto Bridge, which is cool.
Next, it's on to a water taxi to cross over to the Punta della Dogana to visit the Santa Maria della Salute.
Or just a salute. The Salute was built after a rather severe outbreak of the plague in 1631.
It's no coincidence that salute in Italian means health.
All right, so we're actually in the courtyard of the Doge Palace. See, for about 1,000 years, all the way from 726 all the way to 1797, Venice actually was a republic. And the chief of that republic was a position known as a Doge. Now, they had a Doge a lot of times as like a duke, but actually this was a lifetime elected position that had kind of an odd way it was being selected. They had a council of 40 that would actually select them, but the council of 40 was selected by 4 men, and that 4 men were actually selected by another 12. Very, very arcane, complicated way of doing elections, but for like I said, over 1,000 years, it was actually led by this position, the Doge. And we're going to go and look around and look at also the Bridge of Sighs.
Earlier, we showed you the Bridge of Sighs from the outside of the Doge Palace.
The name comes from the last view prisoners would have of Venice,
which would look like this.
or this.
Or after they passed over this Bridge of Sighs,
The only view that many would have for the rest of their lives
would be this.
a far cry from the opulence of the Doge Palace that lays on the other side of the bridge. And after the Doge Palace, it was time for a sail into the sunset.
right, so we just took the water taxi and well, gosh, almost an hour. Just saw sunset over the lagoon and over the canals, and it's absolutely great. So we are getting ready to go get some pizza, or at least get some dinner at least, and go back to our hotel and pack up, because tomorrow morning, what we'll be doing is we'll be getting onto a train to go to Trieste to go to our Regent Splendor cruise. So if you want to come on, keep on coming along with us, fantastic. We would love you. Just go on to like this video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And as always, keep on traveling.